Okay. Hello, everybody. What's up? It's your boy Chris WR, and today I am going to take some time to make a little video about why I stopped making music. Okay, so I've got a bunch of reasons. I'm going to get into it here. Before I go any further, if you guys could please drop a like on this video, comment on this video if you find any value from anything I'm saying. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe here. I've got my podcast is dropping on this channel, and I figured I'm going to create a few little videos here and there too, explaining some stuff that I wanted to talk about. So first of all, to all of you guys that have been following me on all my socials like Twitter, Instagram, even Facebook from back in the day, I appreciate you guys, all you guys that have been following me for so long, and this is primarily who this video is for right now because as most of you guys remember back in the day, at this point, I stopped putting music out in about 2015, so it's been quite some time, but I never gave you guys an explanation as to why I stopped putting music out, and I didn't want to make myself look like a quitter or like I gave up or something, so I figured I would take some time and explain some real life things and reasons why I stopped putting music out. So for the first reason why I stopped putting music out, guys, I just ultimately felt like I was creatively fulfilled. As an entrepreneur, as a creative type, my mindset when I'm creating anything is ultimately to get to this kind of Zen mindset, this point where I don't care about what anybody thinks about what I'm creating. I don't care about the reception. I don't care if the response is positive or negative. All I care about is how much effort I put into my project, how I feel about it, as long as I put my heart and soul into it, as long as I worked hard at creating it and I gave it everything I had. Ultimately, that's what makes me creatively satisfied. I don't know about you guys, maybe you relate too. But honestly, I got to that point in music where I just felt like I had nothing left to creatively prove to myself. And I got everything I wanted to get out of it. I just didn't see the point in continuing to create music. So if you guys remember, I was going real hard at music, just like anything I do, I put everything I have into it, all my time, my energy, and I think I put about 3 mixtapes out, a bunch of singles. I had a lot of stuff going with music and things like that, and a lot of you here on my YouTube channel are primarily probably here because of my music, and that's why I'm putting this video out. On all my socials, on my Twitter and stuff, I was going real hard with music, so furthermore, makes sense why I wanted to make this video and explain to you guys why I stopped making music. But bringing me to the second point why I stopped making music, honestly, I was just able to kind of look at myself from a third eye's perspective, if that makes sense, and just look at my music from the outside looking in, and I just felt like I had nothing organic or original to offer. I felt like at best I was kind of just emulating other music that I was really into listening to. And what really cemented this for me is when I had a lot of fans and a lot of close friends and a lot of people telling me like, hey man, your music's super dope, it sounds just like the stuff on the radio, and I know they were trying to compliment me, and I know that was their way of trying to uplift me and tell me that I was doing a good job and stuff like that, but for me, that just even furthermore cemented my thought process at that time that I just didn't feel like I had anything unique or original to offer to rap and hip-hop. So I just felt like it was best for me to move on from that aspect of making music. Again, I didn't think that I had any shot at standing out with what I was creating. And I did it for a while creatively just to see where I went from the beginning of my music to the end. I was really satisfied with it. I was really happy about it. I did make some major improvements. Like, don't get me wrong, I feel like I had a really dope and unique sound. I had a really good delivery, but overall, when it came to my context and my lyrical content, I just didn't feel like I was expressing myself the way I wanted to via music. You know what I mean? I just didn't feel like I was getting the messages across in that form the way I wanted to, and I have other plans for things like that. I just didn't feel like I had anything special, and I don't mean to sound like negative. I don't want to encourage anybody to talk to themselves like that, because I feel like you are your biggest supporter in anything you're doing. You must always be positive and things like that. But I just feel like I didn't have anything special. Just being real and being honest with myself, I felt like my music was nothing special. I felt like it was decent. It sounded okay. But again, taking my brand to where I wanted to take it in the long run, I just felt like I was never going to be able to do that with music. Just being honest and realistic with myself. It wasn't to try and like crush a dream or anything. Seeing where I wanted to see myself go, both personally and professionally, I felt like music was hindering that, and it wasn't helping that, and it wasn't going to work for me. So yeah, that brings me to my third reason why I stopped putting music out. Probably the most important to me was I kind of just felt that both on a professional level and a personal level, it was best for me to disassociate myself with some of the negative things that come with the rap and hip hop industry. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. All the stuff like the drugs and the violence and the overglorification of jail and stuff like that. Personally, I went through a lot of real life situations, and that's probably why I related so much to rap and hip hop in the first place. But they're not fun. They're not cool. Getting in trouble sucks. Going to jail is not fun. It's not cool. And I just didn't ultimately want to feel like I was responsible for influencing anybody to make some of the similar decisions that I made. Specifically, like younger people, I really do feel like unless you have a mature and developed mind, and this goes for anything in that area, honestly, that's probably a whole nother video and a whole nother topic, but I really do feel like things like that, when you look up to somebody and they do something that you admire, their decisions could be influenced maybe positively and negatively. And I just felt like being a part of rap and hip hop wasn't pushing my message in a positive way any further that I wanted it to. So that was another big reason why I moved on from music. And an even bigger reason, just to even furthermore double down on what I just said, is me personally, I was changing as a man. A lot of the things that I used to rap about in my music just weren't a part of my life anymore. And I wanted to make sure that I was being my most authentic self at all times. I like to do that with anything I'm creating, with all my social media projects and everything I've ever done. I want to be my authentic and true self at all times, and I moved on from a lot of the things that I was rapping about, and I just felt like maybe that I should move on from rap as well. And on top of that, personally, I started having kids myself, and I didn't want my kids someday to look back and see and hear some of the things that I was rapping about, and I didn't want to be responsible for influencing them to make similar decisions to what I made when I was younger. I just wanted to make sure that I was being a good example for them at all times, both professionally and personally, and I want them to be inspired by the things I do, not the other way around. When my kids started getting a little bit older and they were able to listen, and plain and simple, I didn't want them to get negatively influenced by some of the things that are associated with rap. So I just felt it was best for me to kind of close the books on that area of my life and move on. That's pretty much it. I don't have any regrets with my creative process when it comes to music. I'm proud of the things I did when it comes to music. Like I said, it was a creative journey I went on, and I sucked at first. And toward the end of it, my last few songs, honestly, I felt really, really good about. As a creator, that's kind of like ultimately, no matter what I'm doing, I like to get to that mindset where I don't care about what anybody thinks, positively or negatively, the reception of my creation. I just care about how I feel about it. I knew that I put my heart and soul into some of my last songs. I gave it everything I had. I was really, really proud of them. And that's kind of surrounding around the first thing I said. I just was creatively fulfilled. But on top of that, yeah, guys, I just decided it was time to move on. I didn't have anything left to give. Where I see my brand going in the long run, I just didn't think that it was going to get there with hip-hop, and I'm still a work in progress. I'm still working on things. But yeah, I really, really appreciate everybody that has been supporting me for this time on my socials all this time. If you guys could continue to tune into what I got going on, I would love to have you guys be a part of some of the projects I'm working on now. And if you gained anything from this video, please drop a comment on it, like the video, subscribe to my channel. If you guys have anything else that you want me to talk about from that time of me making music and stuff like that, I'd love to go back and talk about some of that stuff. So just drop it in the comments. And yeah, thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next video, and I'm gonna make another video on something else. So let's go.